Hey guys, doing some work on the farm today, the home farm, and just wanted to do a quick video kind of letting you know the importance of keeping these corridors clean inside of your bedding areas. One of those things that I see, a lot of, like I always speak, there's just things that I, from being on a lot of these farms, parcels, everybody, in the past that design them this way, design them that way, and, landowners trying this, trying that. And you get on them and there's just, like we've always talked, that tornado effect, So what I'm doing today is I'm actually, that 10 acres that I have, or 11 acres I was telling you about, is real narrow and long. And the only, instead of like we always try to do is run your bedding and your feed and your movement and everything parallel to it. This is actually side, across it, perpendicular to it, and it's just something that I wanted to do. I never have, been here 10 years and didn't do it on this piece because I didn't have the food plot down there, and now that my food plot is behind me, down in there, you'll see right behind that white birch, like we talked the other day in that video I did about transition areas. You can see, or transition areas and the difference between morning and evening stands. That's food plot down there now. So now I'm enhancing this, and what I'm going to show you today, guys, is, like I said, you get on these properties and it's either a tornado effect from somebody that did that, that you hopefully didn't hire to do, but you get in there and it's there's sticks and debris and everything all over the trail. And the reason that you're creating these corridors inside these bedding areas is obviously for them to use the corridor. Now it's just like us, you walk into Walmart or Meijer or whatever the case is, and there's somebody in the aisle or something in the aisle, somebody working on something, you go around it, and it's no different than deer habitat or deer mindset and movement. That's what they do. So I'm going to walk you through real quick here of what I did. Is that this is a bench on this ridge, and it goes right back into bedding. Now before, the bedding was all on, it is still, a lot of it's on the neighbors, but so what I'm doing here is this this bench goes in, and then it actually wraps up. It goes right on here, the edge of the pond, and then it just trickles out as it goes into the neighbors over there, 50, 60, 75 yards there. And what I'm doing is I've got a spot that's behind actually our house over the ridge. It's just a nice secluded little spot, and it's just got, you can see up on top of the hill, I mean, it's just all mature oak and beech, and our old property that we used to own looks just like this, 100 and some acres of it. But this bench here there's a landing up top, and I'll show you on the way up to it what I've created. And it's not the perfect situation where I'd like to stretch that out and find it at the top of a bowl, but it's tucked in and it's right there, and that's all I got. You go further to the south of this, and it just opens up into hardwoods, and my property line pinches me down. So it's really the only thing I've got to work with, and that's something that I try to teach you guys and show you guys on how to do these things on these small parcels. So this is a perfect example, but the topic of this one is a couple of things wrapped up into it, but the topic is to make sure these corridors are clean, and I'm going to show you just how to do that. Now when I make new ones, you'll see behind me here this foot trail, you can see it going up the hill. I've actually I kicked these out going up, so it's a new, fresh, no different than a human or us going in and seeing these trails, deer trails stand out that are well worn, and when they come through here tonight, they're going to see that, and tomorrow, and they just get accustomed to using it. For it becomes a trail too. And so that I like to clean them out. You don't have to do go the extent of a leaf blower, stuff like that, but in new ones I often do that. If it's a new parcel, I go in and really clean them, and what that does is just not only cleans them, but it promotes, you get that seed to soil contact in it, and it really promotes new growth. But here on the side hill, I've got a lot of, once these are down, have a lot of daylight, so this thing should just thicken up like crazy. And so when we're moving, you can actually see this is the tree stand that I had right here, and now the bedding area is right here next to it, right on the property line. So I'm moving that octagon blind I was telling you about right around the corner, and it's one of those side access deals. Come in, I'll be able to get in and out of it, and this ridge just wraps around, tucks them in, and they can't, I can stand right back here and I can't see where the blind's going to be. So perfect situation, nice and quiet, get in, get out. We'll be able to hunt it mornings and nights, and should be a little killer spot for the new owner. I'm hoping not to be here this fall. I've hunted it, and we've got our success off from it, myself and the kids, and it's just time to get a little bigger piece. But somebody that wants it, it's I'm just trying to enhance it so it you know, works for them, no different than paying a client that I have. So I'm gonna walk you up here, guys. Come with me. I'm gonna walk you out, and I'm gonna just show you how I, you know, if you did any hunting out west, it'll remind you of kind of that switchback theory, you know, going up through and getting in there and creating them switchbacks up to that little landing. And I'll show you, I'll promote that a little bit. I got a beach up there I got to pull down with the hook, and yeah, so I'll show you. This is the new trail there's a Y in the trail right here. This one goes right down and right along the edge of the pond, right between those white pines. And then see the pond's over here at just a natural funnel pinch point. And that's where they come in from the neighbors, but actually, obviously we're enhancing this. That was a bed, a doe bed there before, and I just hinge cut that one tree next to it, tucked it in and cleaned it out, so they'll promote it. But these trails here just goes down. Like I said, you can see I walked it. I'll go through and clean this one out just as well as I did this one. But you can see up this corridor what I've done to try to enhance this. You know, it's as simple as going along and just taking your feet and, you know, clearing the trail off as you go. And before you know it, you got a pretty distinct trail. And like I said, that one there's over the top because it's the start of the deal, and I don't usually try to do those, but you can see all these are tipped to the outside, guys. Soft maple here, and you can tell they're all tipped to the outside, not real thick. Definitely good pockets in there. It's open at the end of it so they can get out and around on the top of that top. These on this side are all tipped to the outside. And like I said, this corridor, you can just see as I go, walking up the bank here. You can just, you know, just like I said, as you go, just keep cleaning it out. If you got a little rake with you, or you got the kids helping you or something, take that leaf blower, blow it out. If nothing else, just use it as your foot path. 9 times out of 10, you can you know, clean it out good enough, tip everything to the outside of your corridors, not across it, and you can get them to use it. Now you can see I got some more to do, but everything's tipped to the outside. You got a perfect corridor. If I look down through there now, you can see it right down through, snakes right in, hits the pinch point, that Y in the trail, pinch point between the pond and the bank, right out to the food plot. So I'm going to continue on the hill up here. Got this beach right here hinged. I gotta help down to the outside. Same thing up here. And then all of these, I'll show you when I get done here, but you know, right on top here, I'm gonna promote some of these larger ones and tip down so I can get some daylight. But it'll be a cool little spot. But I just wanted to kind of give you a video of the importance of keeping these corridors clean, making it a corridor. You make it for a reason, so they'll use it. Don't canopy it. And like I said, it just comes down. You can see it hooks in right down around. As you can see, my OCD kicked in. You're seeing that log that was across it right here, that limb that was across it. I just don't like those arches over corridors, so I took it out and tucked it right back. Here it was on this side, tucked it right back with these. Just show you just how much cleaner it is now. That trail right down through here is open, wanders around down into the pond. This one here is the one that had the arch over it, and like I said, I opened it up because obviously I don't like those arches that was here and bent over the trail, and I don't like those. Keep it clean, It creates more edge, gives them more of a defined line, if you will. And obviously, if a mature buck is barreling down through there with a good set of horns, he's not going to want to worry about ducking and diving. All right, guys, so we come up here to the end. You can see, you know, in these open hardwood settings, it sometimes doesn't take much. You know, a lot of guys go way overboard, and it's just a, I have in the past too. I mean, it's just a natural instinct. You're trying to thicken it up, and especially when you're standing in a hardwoods behind you that looks like this, it's like, man, there's nothing here. But with these, the correct cuts are better than a lot of cuts, I guess, is the moral of the story on that one. The corridor that we just came up, I'm going to touch on something here in a minute when I walk you back down. But this is the end of it. It comes right up, and you can see it's all directional hinge cut at the top here, all tipped to the outside to make this end of the hub. And because this is a end of the road subject, sometimes if it's on a lot of times if it's on a larger parcel, this actually connects to something else. I'll leave this open, but this is actually I wanted it to end right here. We got the house over the hill a little ways here, and property line behind us, and it's just, this is kind of the end of the road right over top of the ridge, and it starts there. They can tuck themselves in. Now what we've done, like I said, I just made a bowl at the end of it, and then this is right at the end of that you know, that corridor that I made up through here. So she's all done, and hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like I said, I took this one out. I just don't like those, anything that's over the trail, arching over the trail, go ahead and clean them out. But object is, guys, when you create them, it's just as important to create, when you create them, to keep them clean as it is to go back through and keep them, you know, keep them clean as well. This hill, like we said, has got promoted a couple of beds right here where a flat spot, I cleaned it out. It's steep, but it's got these pockets all the way up through it, and that's where I promoted the hinge into, you know, so they can get some side cover laying on them. And so they're not, you know, they don't like to lay when it's so steep, but they'll find these pockets and promote those corridors, get them cleaned, keep them clean, and they'll appreciate it. Thanks, guys.